Boys and girls, I'm so happy to see y'all today. I have a question, and this is a really important question. Do you like to share? Do you like to share your toys, or maybe share shoes, or maybe food, or some activities you have at home? Do you like to share with maybe your friends, or your brothers, or sisters, or your cousins? Well, we're going to be reading a book about some frogs that have a little trouble with sharing. And let's see what happens when they're not sharing. This book is called It's Mine. Have you ever said that to someone? It's mine. Let's get started. In the middle of Rainbow Pond, there was a small island. Smooth pebbles lined its beaches, and it was covered with ferns and leafy weeds. On the island lived 3 quarrelsome frogs named Milton, Rupert, and Lydia. They quarreled and quibbled from dawn to dusk. To quarrel means you argue and you fight a lot. So they were always arguing in the morning all the way to nighttime. They had something to argue about. "Stay out of the pond," yelled Milton. "That water is mine." Ooh. "Get off that island," shouted Rupert. "The earth is mine." "The air is mine," screamed Lydia as she leaped to catch a butterfly. And so it went. They're really not being able to get along. One day, a large toad appeared before them. "I live on the other side of the island," he said, "but I can hear you shouting, 'It's mine, it's mine, it's mine,' all day long. There's no peace because of your endless bickering. You can't go on like this." With that, the toad slowly turned around and hopped away through the weeds. What do you think the frogs are going to do after hearing that from the toad? Do you think they're going to get along and stop fighting? I hope so. No sooner had he left than Milton ran off with a large worm. The others hopped after him. "Worms are for everybody," they cried. But Milton croaked differently. "Not this one, it's mine." Suddenly, the sky darkened and a rumble of distant thunder circled the island. Rain filled the air and the water turned into mud. The island grew smaller and smaller as it swallowed up the rising flood. The frogs were scared. Desperately, they clung to the few slippery stones that still rose above the wild, dark water. But soon, those too began to disappear. Oh my goodness, what are they going to do? The rain's washing everything away. There was only one rock left, and there were frogs huddled, trembling from cold and fright, but they felt better now that they were together, sharing the same fears and hopes. Little by little, the flood subsided, the rain fell gently, and then stopped altogether. Look, they're sharing and getting along, and they're not as scared anymore because they're all together. But look, the large rock that had saved them was no rock at all. Look who it was that actually saved them. It was Toad. "You saved us!" shouted the frogs when they recognized the toad. That next morning, The water had cleared. Sun rays chased silver minnows on the sandy bottom of the pond. Joyfully, the frogs jumped in, and side by side, they swam all around the island. Together, they leaped after the swarms of butterflies that filled the air. And later, when they rested in the weeds, they felt happy in a way that had never been before. "Isn't it peaceful?" said Milton. "Isn't it beautiful?" said Rupert. "And do you know what else?" said Lydia. "No, what?" the others asked. "It's ours." Instead of saying, "It's mine," she said, "It's ours. It's all of ours." That was very kind of them to finally get along. Have you ever had problems with maybe a friend or a brother and sister with sharing something? But like the frogs, when they finally began to share, they were happy because they were all together. Then they were doing it with their family and who they loved very much.